Hello, my name's Linda. I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and today I'm making a card for the Cardz for Galz card challenge blog, and the theme this fortnight is wings, and I am using the butterfly wishes. Got lots of wings in this. I'm starting with a piece of this is Pacific Point A4 cardstock, and I'm going to put it in this way round. Let's get my little guide out, and I want to cut this at 20 centimetres. Put that to one side, don't need that at the moment. Get rid of my blade. Easier said than done, there we go. And at 10 centimetres, I'm going to score. And this is going to be our card base, and I have some Whisper White here, which I've cut just a smidgen smaller, so I did it at 9.5 and 20.5 centimetres, and I've cut two of these. So we're going to have one that's going to go around this way, one on the front of the card and one inside, so we can write our message. I already have my envelope ready, and these are called DL in the UK. So I'm bringing in Stamparatus. So I've already stuck in my 3 butterflies and my piece of paper here. Oh, that one's all stuck. There we go. And I'm going to be starting with Seaside Spray. I'm just going to ink them up. Push that over. So appropriately, I'm actually winging this. I haven't made this card yet. This is my first attempt. And the idea is I want to come down the card with my blues getting darker and darker. So my next blue I want to use Pacific Point. So before I remove any of my butterflies, I've got one of these little sponge daubers here, and I want to just cover the bottom of my big butterfly. So I'm just going to do gentle sponging. And a little bit more. So it's better to do this slowly, because then you can just build it up rather than putting too much on and having to start again. So I'm just going to use my Simply Chamois to clean my butterfly stamps up. I'm going to move my paper down a little bit, put my magnet on, and then I'm going to put some more of the butterflies up the top here. So I'm just moving these ones around a little bit. I'm going to use my Seaside Spray again. Give them a clean, so you need to remember to clean these between each colour. And then I'm going to be popping some more of these butterflies. So my small one, I'm going to be using the Balmy Blue, and the one I'm going to use Pacific Point. And then I'm going to bring in my little sponge dauber again, and just at the bottom of my small butterfly I'm putting a little bit of Pacific Point. So I'm sort of trying to have lines of colour. Blueberry bushel next. So again, I've just done half of my butterfly, and I'm hoping to leave a line between where I've done my ink, and then I'm going to fill that in using my sponge dauber again. So I'm just dabbing the Night of Navy onto the bottom of my butterfly and just a little bit over where I went before. That's what I'm doing there. I've turned this round now as I'm coming down, turned my Stamparatus round. And I'm going to build that Night of Navy up. I've just put my sponge dauber on the table now. So when you're making this card, you do need to keep moving your paper and just keep cleaning the edges. And when you do that, make sure that your fingers are not inky. I mean, mine are always inky, but I don't want to put my blue fingerprints onto my paper, onto my lovely white paper, especially as I am getting quite close to finishing. So I'm just putting my last row of butterflies on, and again I've turned the Stamparatus round. I'm using Night of Navy. I'm going to do the whole lot in Night of Navy this time. So I've done this without mentioning it, but when you do any sort of card with lots of stamps on, make sure you stamp off as well. So I don't mean stamping off with your ink, I mean stamp off the edge. So stamping off the edge of the card, and that, well, that makes it look much more natural than if you just stamped all of your butterflies right in the middle. I have just a piece of Whisper White scrap paper here and my Night of Navy. And I'm using the Birthday Wishes stamp that comes with the Butterfly Wishes set. And I'm just going to put that in the middle there. I'm just bringing my Stamparatus in again. This time I've put the blossom on. So I've decided where I want it to go. I'm going to ink it up and then stamp it down onto a piece of scrap paper, and then stamp it onto my proper piece. There we go, so that's stamping off really. So my layer is going to stick to the top of my Pacific Point. As I said, I was making this card as I was filming it, and I'm really not that happy with the Balmy Blue. So if I was doing this again, I would not use Balmy Blue, I'd use a different blue because it's too muted. The others are so defined, but that one is just too soft. So I've come up with an idea of putting a sort of a tag up here to try and hide some of that butterfly. So I'm going to cut this down a little bit. And so on the back of my tag, this is going to be a tag, all I've done is I found the middle, put a little dot. I've come down about 1/4 of an inch, I think that is, and put a little pencil line, and then I've put another couple of dots equally on each side. And then I'm going to get my scissors, and I'm just cutting from that corner to the first pencil line. So I want my tag to be one of these tags, and then you can get get this piece. So you take this piece from here, turn it over, put it on this side, and then when you cut that off it should be the same as the other side. It would help if I'd got my glasses on, but I haven't. I should have put my reading glasses on. And then I'm going to put a little hole in the middle there. Using my crocodile, I'm going to use the smallest hole. And there's my tag. So I've put some dimensionals on the back there, or the edges of my dimensionals, and I'm just going to wrap this around the top of my card. I want it to come at a little jaunty angle there. I've got a bit of double-sided tape here. I'm going to thread that one around like this. The back in. And then decide where I want that to go. So I'm just finishing the card off by doing the middle of my card. So I've put the blossom and a small butterfly down the bottom of the card. I've taken the happy birthday from the Seaside Notions, and I'm going to do this in Pacific Point. I'm using Pacific Point because that is the colour of the card base that we've used. Go. I've already put the front layer onto our card base, and I'm just going to put this inside. Stick that down. I've made this just a tiny bit smaller. I actually cut the front down a little bit more after I stamped my butterflies because I thought it needed a larger border. And there we go. Finished. I hope you liked watching this video, and don't forget to pop along to the Cardz for Galz blog post. If you come down into the description, there'll be a link to go there, and you can go and have a look and see what all the other design team members have made, and what everybody else has entered into the challenge. And don't forget to have a go. We love people entering this challenge. It's such a fun challenge. So thanks for watching. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. Bye.